All right, folks. Welcome back to another episode of ZANU PF 2025 Conference Resolutions Deep Dive. I'm Samara O'Donnell, and Owen, I see you smiling. I think you're as fired up as I am for this one, so let's get straight into what's at the top of everyone's minds. The leadership direction coming out of this conference. The really big headline, if you somehow missed it, is that ZANU PF is pushing to extend President Mnangagwa's term to 2030. And yeah, that's 2 more years, not just for the presidency, but for the whole vision of what stability means here. You'll see in the resolutions, there's a clear emphasis on continuity, and honestly, you just can't overstate how much that anchors everything else they're aiming for. Also, they're calling on some serious legal amendments here, like they want these legislative changes done before the next conference, so it feels pretty urgent. But, Owen, you have this gift for putting things into perspective. Can you help us wrap our heads around how this drive for continuity is being sold?
The same forces.
It's not just about one man, yeah?
That Mugabe,
Samara, thank you. I like how you set the stage there. You know, growing up in Harare, I would watch my uncles and their friends build actual footbridges. Nothing fancy, but strong, you see, because every stone laid meant one more day of safe passage for our people. That's how I see party continuity. Munhu wangu, this resolution, it's more than just saying, let's keep President Mnangagwa in office. It's about laying stone after stone, so that policy and progress are not lost to the floods of uncertainty. When the party talks about supremacy over government, they're really focusing on aligning every level, from national down to the most rural district council to the same blueprint. It is like harmonizing the whole orchestra before the music even begins. Of course, that means some legislative gymnastics too. Amendments, strategic plans, regulating new affiliates, even things like rolling out vehicles at all party levels so people can actually get the work done. Maybe I sound like an old bridge builder, but institutionally, they want all the support strong and tightly bound.
That image of stone after stone, I love it. Way more poetic than like spreadsheets and compendiums, which, honestly, this conference seemed to have by the stack. There's this push for developing strategic manuals, even making a qualified handbook for party supremacy. That's a mouthful. But when you zoom in, the real theme seems to be internal unity and streamlining. They want everything flowing together. Party organs like the Central Committee, legal folks, even integrating political returnees from the opposition. Yet, there's another side. It's not just about strict control. It's also about spreading ideology right to the grassroots, through things like structured training for youth. It's a lot to take in, but yeah, definitely about shoring up all their foundations. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. Owen, does it feel to you like this push is more about ideology or about practical power?
This one is both, Samara. The ideology is the mortar, connecting each stone, making the whole bridge hold. But at the same time, practical power is in every detail. The directives to provide mobility, the mechanisms for election integrity, even assigning ideological cadres into the public service. Their message is, ZANU PF will be the backbone from base to summit. And, maybe more controversially, there's the piece about integrating non-combatant cadres and setting public holidays in the president's honor. All in all, stability is the headline, but the subtext is about deeply embedding party structures in the nation's everyday workflow and legacy. Like a bridge you don't just cross, but actually live on.
All right, let's dig up our boots and wade into the next section. The massive focus on economic transformation and infrastructure. I mean, from wheat to Wi-Fi. These resolutions really ran the gamut. Here's what stood out to me. Zimbabwe reached wheat self-sufficiency, which is genuinely impressive. But what really caught my ear was the direct order. Government must pay farmers within a month of delivery now. None of this endless waiting nonsense anymore. And beyond that, they're expanding support for small-scale growers. It's like they're trying to put rocket boosters under the rural economy. With new irrigation schemes and modernized village business units that can reach both local and, in theory, international markets. Owen, I know from your old broadcast stories how roads and railways shape people's lives. What jumps out at you from this storm of infrastructure promises?
Ah, the breadbasket, Samara. You know, for so long, the delays, the dry taps, the dusty roads, those are the whispers people hear in their daily lives. This time, the resolutions are going full throttle. Highway and railway rehabilitation, upgrading border posts, new dams, Gwai and Shangani were named, and pushing the completion of key university projects. That's not just ribbon cutting, that's economic arteries opening up, yes? Then there's affordable housing, renewable energy, and, this was new to me, universal free Wi-Fi through the Universal Service Fund. If you can get even half of that moving, suddenly all these rural areas are connected, markets open, people get water, health, jobs, education. It's building the foundation for everything else.
Yes! And here's a tangent. I can't not make this comparison. Back home in Australia, we did intense watershed restoration after the big droughts. No one talks about green shoots if you ignore the roots, right? In Zimbabwe, it seems they're finally paying attention to the roots, like literally building irrigation, but also giving farmers financial respect. On the money side, there's been a shakeup. The ZIG currency is going to be the only legal tender now. They're promising to remove transaction charges for small deals, improve the physical notes, and ramp up anti-corruption. Plus, there's this push for more small and medium enterprises to get access to venture capital. Does that sound practical to you, Owen, or just ambitious plans on paper?
I hear you. On paper, Zimbabwe has often been ambitious, but this ZIG currency focus is tighter. Removing those little charges makes formal transactions easier, especially in the high-density and informal sector. Strengthening anti-corruption laws and enforcement. Now, if they really enforce that, we'll see change on the street corner and in the rural market. I do think there's substance. You can't have modern commerce or local investment if everyone's dodging fees or worried about fake notes. Add in renewed support for small and medium enterprises, and you might see roots turning to sturdy trunks. If, and only if, follow-through beats old habits.
Yeah, you make a good point. Policies only matter if they reach the people stacking their grain, not just those jotting memos in Parliament. All right, circling back. So we've got the heavy lifters at the top, big infrastructure stuff in the middle, and now, maybe the heart of the agenda, how these resolutions are supposed to touch the most marginalized. Let's pivot, Owen. What are your thoughts on the next layer, especially for women, veterans, and tackling the tough issues like substance abuse?
This is big, Samara, and close to my heart. We know social equity in Zimbabwe is not just a policy talking point. It's woven through our history, our families, our songs. The conference went far, directing the transformation of the Women's Bank into a proper financial institution so more women can access loans and business support. There's a real emphasis on prioritizing housing for women and even establishing agricultural and mining hubs tailored just for them. That 50-50 gender parity resolution, it's clear and ambitious. They want that target from the ward committee all the way up to national party leadership. And for veterans, the scope is wider. Inclusion and recognition for non-combatants in the War Veterans League, better health insurance, land title access, and even new reburial policies. For dignity, after decades of waiting, their mention of pension and dependent rights, that's long overdue, Samara.
Totally. And the gender piece really landed with me, especially the part about reviewing producer prices for grains, since so many farmers are women. If you make prices work for them, that's social equity at the source, not just a headline. But on the tough front, I noticed a direct and pretty urgent approach to the drug and substance abuse crisis. There are plans for new vocational centers, standalone rehab and treatment facilities in every district, and strong pushes for positive parenting right from early childhood. And Owen, this line made me grin. They're calling for more community interventions, which made me think of your drum circles. Do you think those spaces are as powerful as, say, formal policies?
Samara, you make me smile. Let me tell you, music, those drum circles, is powerful medicine. In our culture, healing is not just a clinic. It's a gathering, a place where youth find identity and elders share wisdom. Policy matters, yes, but community interventions are the glue. When young people find belonging, they're less likely to drift into substances. The battle against drugs will take more than enforcement. It needs spaces for rehabilitation, skills, and positive collective experiences. That's why vocational training, community healing, and yes, even a bit of rhythm all go hand in hand. The hope is these conference resolutions become reality, not just in the books, but in the lives of our next generation.
It's the same everywhere, in the bush or the city. Healing rarely starts with paperwork, right? So whether it's a loan for a young entrepreneur, safe housing for a mother, or a drum circle for a lost teenager, these are the moments the resolutions are shooting for. It's easy to be skeptical. Government pronouncements, deadlines, paper promises. But I can't help but hope these ideas make it all the way to the people who need them most.
Indeed, Samara, the test will be in the follow-through. If Zimbabwe's future is to rest on strong, stable foundations, these resolutions must walk off the conference floor and take root in our communities. As old storytellers would say, let us wait and see which seeds bear fruit.
Well said, Owen. Folks, that's where we leave it for today, digging deep into the 2025 ZANU PF conference resolutions. There's so much more we could talk about, so we'll be back with more voices, more stories, and hopefully, some real progress updates. Thanks for listening, Owen. Always a pleasure building bridges with you, mate.
Thank you, Samara, and thank you to our listeners. Until next time, keep walking the path with us, stone by stone. Goodbye, Samara. Goodbye, everyone.